Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Forman. We got Jake Sachs with us, Jason Forrest, myself, and a whole school of the new Channel Islands February fish, or the Feb's fish. We're here right off the beach. After the three of us surfing this board and also being in the water with Michael February and Brett Barley riding one. Also Brent Powers was riding one. Sam from Spearhead Productions was riding one, and just wanted to share our feedback on the board and then also what we witnessed. For those of you that have been checking out the new Feb fish online, the outline of the board looks similar to a classic fish, but when you get it in hand, you start to notice a lot of the differences. There's more nose rocker on the board, in the front of the board. The nose is not beaked. Typically on like a classic fish, you're gonna see a much flatter nose rocker and a beaked nose. So both of those changes are evident when you're holding the board. The rails are more foiled. Also the tail is more brought in than a full-on classic fish, which would be like out here. And then when you look at the fin template for Mikey's fin with futures, I just happen to have some fins in my pocket. Mikey's fin is right here. This is your standard Channel Islands AMK, the Almeric keel. You lay them on top of each other. The rake looks about the same, but you can see how much area is taken off of this fin, off of the tip, and then also scalloped out off the trailing edge, all to loosen up the board in the turns. Still give you a lot of base, a lot of drive, and a lot of down the line, but to loosen up the board to be able to go vertical, not just down the line. Jake, what were your impressions on the new Feb's fish?
Yeah, I love a good twin fin fish, like a classic twin fin fish. And there's always this kind of move to go more performance with the twin fin fish, just because it can have some hang-ups on your backhand, or it can be a little less maneuverable. But the Feb's fish really captures the cool parts of a keel fin fish while adding that maneuverability. And so I noticed right off the bat the rocker in it, that little extra flip in the nose rocker. We were surfing not the like easiest, nicest waves. So there were like some ledgy ones and some like bottom dropping out on takeoffs, but that extra rocker really helped. And then just the maneuverability in the tail outline as well. It really freed up with those fins that Mikey's designed. Really added an extra spice when you got into the lip. It really got vertical, and then the tail would kind of release, but not too skatey. So yeah, just a really good all-around combo of performance fish, which is hard to dial in. I was impressed.
Jason, how about, I saw you take it out in the back half of the session. What was your impressions?
It took me a little bit to get the one in the size I wanted, because I don't know if I was putting my sunscreen on, but all of a sudden I turned around and they were all gone. So I went out on a different board, and then when I did a lap, I saw that the smaller ones were there. So I scooped up the 5.5 and I went out on it, and right out of the gate I could tell the sizing was right, you know, like because I wasn't really sure what the volume was, and I got on it and I was like, okay, this is a little bigger than the normal boards that I ride. Like I could tell that it was the way it was paddling. So I think it's in like a 30.5 liter volume range. So I was like, oh, this will be fun for a twin fin fish. I haven't ridden a traditional like twin fin fish in a long time. Like it's been quite a few years since I've ridden like a traditional one. I've ridden a lot of single fins and other twin fins and other alternative craft, but not like a wide-tailed twin fin fish. So it'd be a while. Yeah, you're right, Jake. Like the waves are, pretty steep takeoffs.
Yeah.
So the first wave I got, I was like, this thing works great. Like I had to kind of make sure I was going to nail the bottom turn in front of Mikey. I didn't want to fall.
Yeah, you saw my first wave. I dropped in and then board just went woo.
Yeah,
like,
well, that happens.
Because I wasn't used to the speed. You have to really ride it, and watching Mikey ride it too. Like you have to have your foot far up to kind of keep. Because it's really fast, so you have to kind of keep that speed in check. So
I just felt like right out of the gate, it felt natural to ride the board. It had that nice twin fin feel of like the drive and the speed and like squirtiness or whatever you want to call it. I had a nice little roundhouse, came back into the white water, and then pumped through some flat sections, got another turn, paddled back out, and got a second wave. And like to Jake's point, and to kind of what I heard these guys say when they were talking about the board, it definitely can surf more aggressively than any traditional keel twin that I've ridden. You could tell that just by paddling in the way the rocker was and the way it felt, and then it definitely wanted to get more vertical and could surf more aggressively.
I saw that like with both of your guys surfing, there was a lot more pocket surfing going on with the board than what you would expect in a fish. Also, like watching Brett surf at Barley, like he was on a 5.5 and he was like airdropping, and like the main peak was like it was sucking off the bar like below sea level, and these guys were like airdropping in on this board, and then going straight into the tube like on a twin fin fish, which like if you have a completely flat rocker linear board, like it's not going to do that.
Yeah.
But this thing was going right in there. Same thing with like Cody Craig backside ripping into those things. The backside surfing was impressive. Like Cody's backside snaps off the top, Mikey's backside snaps off the top again, which is like something that you don't expect.
I mean, I was on my backhand too, right?
From a board like this.
So like right out of the gate, the only waves I've had on this board were our backhand, and I felt no negative aspect.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah. I surf 5'7".
5'7".
Yeah,
Okay, so 5'5", 5'7". Cody Craig was on a 5'9".
Yep.
I surfed a 6'1". That was like right around 43. Again, like super fast. I got like one like kind of smaller wave that like the thing just like took off down the line. I had some other ones that were like challenging, like kind of weird, like a bigger drop to like then a flat spot to a lump or whatever, and it just like kept wanting to go over things and just keep going. I thought the board was like super fast, and like actually it surprised me how late and how steep you can drop without pearling the nose. Like that nose rocker definitely saves you. The only thing I've got left with, I'd love to try like a bigger fin. In it, like at my size and that board and those challenging conditions, I sort of left with like, I think there's something like on the bigger ones, like bigger guys, where you might either want to have both sets of fins or try like the AMK at some point.
Yeah, just control that speed a little bit, especially on your top turn.
Yeah.
When you come up, it would get a little squirrely up there.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, I mean, it just like, there's like a little bit of confidence missing in it, but like, I think it could be easily like destroying a little bit more fin area, at it. Again, but like compared to Mikey, I gotta be like 40 pounds, 50 pounds heavier. And a much bigger board. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing your experience on the Mikey Febs fish from Channel Islands. If anybody out there has any questions on the Febs fish or would like to order one for themselves, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.